Captain Pellew, come in, sir. My apologies for requiring you at such short notice.
Not at all, my lord.
Captain Pellew, may I introduce General the Baron de Charette, Commander-in-Chief of His Majesty King Louis's army in exile. The General is going to invade France, and we're going to help him.
Once your ships have carried us across the Channel, we shall raise an army of the people and march on Paris to restore His Most Catholic Majesty to the throne.
May I ask, sir, how many men you expect to raise for this army?
Within a matter of days, I shall have 10,000, maybe 20,000 men in arms. Then we shall move east, gathering more as we go. Never doubt the loyalty of the people, monsieur.
I understand, sir, that in fact, arms have been raised against the rebel government before.
Certainly, many times.
Without any success.
Captain Pellew, for 5 years I have lived in exile while traitors have laid waste to my country. Well, now the nobility of France is going home. And this time, when my countrymen fight, we, their rightful leaders, will lead them into battle. Can I not take it, sir, that we have your support in this great venture?
Oh, yes, Baron. You can depend on Captain Pellew's full support. You have His Britannic Majesty's word on it.
How do I look? The most startling improvement, if I may say so, sir. So with 2 shirts, hat, breeches, buttons and buckles, the sum is £11 9 shillings and 3pence. Perhaps pinchbeck instead of silver for the shoe buckles. That would make it, shall we say £11 even? Very well, Mr. Collins.
I assure you, the Baron is still a figurehead amongst those loyal to King Louis. Name will provide the spark, sets all northern France afire.
But the Royalist force, my lord, they're nothing more than the remnants of a defeated army.
A final cast of the dice, I grant you.
Indeed, sir, and a desperate one.
You forget what is at stake, Sir Edward. For the cost of ferrying General Charette and his men across the Channel, we can put an end to the war with France. Surely, even in your estimation, it's a trifling effort for a place in history.
Yes, but if the expedition should fail, sir, what are the costs in lives?
Men die every day this war continues. When it's over, we may count costs at our leisure. Make way! Make way!
My lord, my lord.
Speak up, man.
The orders.
Well,
Gone, my lord.
give him that.
My lord.
He was carrying a copy of General Charette's plan to the First Lord.
Oh, my God. What if they fall into enemy hands?
Well, we do not know that. They may be at the bottom of the Thames. The thieves drunk in a tavern.
Sir, what if they're not?
His Majesty's government has decided, and they are not in the business of changing their minds.
Should General Charette know of this?
I don't believe there's any need to trouble him. What has passed here will remain between ourselves Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
However, since it would not be politic for King Louis to think that we might have cast his general ashore unaided, you will remain on station after the general has disembarked. And if worst comes to worst, you can provide him with a means of escape.
As you wish, sir.
Very well. You have your orders, Captain Pellew. Carry on, sir.
Mr. Hornblower.
Sir.
Well, don't stand there dawdling, sir. We must return to Plymouth as soon as possible.
Welcome aboard, sir. Profitable meeting at the Admiralty, I trust?
Quite satisfactory, Mr. Bracegirdle. Signal the ships Dumbarton, Sapphire, and Catherine, and request the attendance of their captains in 1 hour. Mr. Hornblower, my compliments to the senior officers. I will see them in my cabin in 20 minutes.
Aye, sir.
So, Mr. Hornblower, what news?
I know no more than you, Mr. Bracegirdle.
Well, I expect we shall find out. By the way, I think you have a splash of mud on your jacket. You look every inch the new lieutenant, Mr. Hornblower. Long may it remain so.
Gentlemen, captain's compliments. And he will see all officers in his cabin in 20 minutes.
What? Who's this? Gentlemen, it appears we have a stranger in our midst. No. I'm mistaken. It's Lieutenant Hornblower. From top to toe, a new man. And not a patch in sight.
Indeed it is, Acting Lieutenant Kennedy.
Gentlemen, it appears that Mr. Hornblower is now the standard by which we must all measure ourselves.
All right, that's enough. Thank you, Mr. Bowles.
Oi, what's it?
What do you reckon the orders will be then, eh? Stay here and take it easy.
Not unless the captain's gone soft.
Nah. Pity, though. I could just do with another month on fresh rations.
Maybe we'll be sent to the Indies, eh? How about that? Palm trees, sunshine.
Tropical diseases.
Could be the Med again. Have another go at them Dagos.
Yeah, we'd go back and give them another pasting easy. Do it on our own too, leave the rest of the fleet in the channel.
Oi, Fanny Fearless. Missed a bit.
Where?
Behind you.
Where?
Gentlemen, as you are no doubt aware, I have lately returned from a meeting with Admiral Hood. Our orders are to join the ships Catherine, Dumbarton, and Sapphire, and convey a General Charette together with forces comprising of French Royalist troops and British infantry to the coast of France.
An invasion, sir.
Mr. Kennedy, 4 ships could hardly constitute an invasion, sir.
Then what is the point, sir?
The point, Mr. Bowles, is that we are at war, sir, and when at war, we react to an order without hesitation. I understand, gentlemen, that this plan may seem somewhat cavalier. However, it is the General's plan, once landed, to raise an army with which to march on Paris and place King Louis on the throne.
That would mean an end to the war, sir.
I believe that is the intention, Mr. Bracegirdle.
Sir, are we permitted to know where the General's troops would be landing?
No. Our destination will remain secret until we set sail, and then there is no chance of word reaching the French until we arrive. In the meantime, I want all dispatch in the loading of the General's men and supplies as soon as they arrive. Thank you, gentlemen.
Perhaps next week we could be toasting the downfall of the French Republic, sir.
Yes, Mr. Hornblower. That is the plan, at least.
Doing here?
Well, what do you make of them, Horatio? They seem a little disorderly. The word shambles might be more appropriate. Look out for the lobsters.
Morning, gentlemen. Major Edrington, 95th Foot. I've been told someone here can see to the embarkation of my men onto the Indefatigable.
Lieutenant Hornblower, Acting Lieutenant Kennedy, sir. I will see to it myself, sir.
Excellent.
Your men look very fine, Major. Almost too good for battle.
Really? I usually find that the more able the officer, the better turned out the men.
Battalion!
At least in the army.
Right! Fight!
Bloody frogs. Mes camarades, aujourd'hui, c'est un grand jour. Aujourd'hui, nous embarquons pour une croisade sacrée afin de libérer notre France adorée.
Any idea what the General's saying?
He's saying today is a great day. They are on a crusade to free their beloved France.
Ensemble, nous nous battrons jusqu'à la mort.
Together we will fight, perhaps to the death.
Pour la cause la plus importante du monde.
But it will be for the greatest cause in the world.
L'histoire va tenir chacun d'entre nous.
Every one of us
pour des hommes qui n'avaient pas peur de donner leur vie.
Will be remembered by history as men who were not afraid to lay down their lives.
Pour la France.
For France.
À la victoire. Vive le roi. Vive le roi. Vive le roi. Vive le roi. Vive le roi.
I suppose what the men lack in discipline, they make up for in enthusiasm.
Major, if you would like your personal baggage transferred to the jolly boat, I'll see it reaches the Indefatigable.
Very well. By the by, it might be better if you were to address me as my lord. I am, in fact, the Earl of Edrington.
You see, Horatio, had you been rich enough to buy a commission as well as a new uniform, you could have joined the army instead.
Lieutenant Hornblower de Sa Majesté Marine Britannique.
Please, monsieur. I have, I think, English sufficient to the task before us. Colonel Marquis de Montcouton.
I have been charged with conducting your troops aboard, sir.
Very good. My men are prepared. I'm looking forward to our trip, monsieur. I have always enjoyed the sea air. Be careful, that is my personal baggage.
Don't drop it!
It is yours, sir.
Indeed, Mr. Hornblower. It is mine.
All men and supplies secured, sir.
Very good, Mr. Hornblower. Signal the convoy.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Bowles, prepare to weigh anchor.
Aye, aye, sir. Prepare to weigh anchor! Man the capstan!
Quiberon.
See this? Not yours!
Not yours! No, Steely, savvy? You, Steely, get chopped plenty damn beats!
Understand that?
Right! What's going on here?
Ah, this bugger was after pinching this chicken, sir. They're the officer's chickens, and we caught him red-handed.
And stealing's an hanging offence.
Yes, Matthews, I'm aware of the articles of war on the subject. Thank you.
Ha! Well, it's the rope for you then, frog.
However, this man may not be. Has anyone taken the trouble of explaining messing arrangement to these men?
Not as such, sir.
I'll leave this on. Let him go.
Let him go, sir.
Stars, these people are our guests, and as such, you will extend to them every courtesy and kindness while they're aboard.
But, I mean, playing piggyback with the frog, sir. The frog is the enemy, sir.
Not these frog stars, these are the good frogs.
A frog is a frog, sir. And the only good frog is a dead frog, sir.
This'll end badly, Mr. Hornblower, sir. You mark my words.
All right, that's enough. Now, about your work.
Aye, aye, sir.
Styles.
Sir?
Put the chicken back, Styles.
Sir?
Styles.
Sir.
Come.
Report from the quarterdeck, sir. Wind still from the north, course steady.
Thank you, Mr. Hornblower. Mr. Hornblower.
Sir.
A word, if you please. How are the men taking to their new travelling companions?
As one might expect, sir. They have a few misgivings about their presence, but nothing untoward.
Misgivings? What kind of misgivings?
I think they have a little difficulty in seeing the General's troops as allies, when only yesterday any Frenchman was the enemy.
But you have made it clear to them that they are to give the General their full support.
Yes, sir, very clear.
Good, good. And yourself? What do you, think of the General and, his plan?
I think he is bold, sir.
Bold? Is that all?
Without knowing either the general or his plan in detail, I wouldn't presume to judge, sir.
Oh, prudent enough answer.
There is also some speculation about our destination, sir.
What would you say if I were to tell you we were heading for the coast of Brittany? What would be your guess then?
In that case, I would say Quiberon Bay, sir.
Would you? Why?
From my recollection, Quiberon affords a good landing. It is the logical choice.
Your deduction is correct. Let us pray, Mr. Hornblower, that the French Republicans don't share your logic. Otherwise, Quiberon Bay may not be such a welcoming spot after all.
We have to stop the artillery of the Republic here from moving against us through Mouziac west to Quiberon, here. Alors, le colonel Moncouton, he will lead a group of men to take control of the bridge at Mouziac, here. Le colonel is Marquis de Mouziac. He's the lord of that village. So he knows the region very well.
Oh, you must be glad to be returning home to Mouziac, Colonel. No doubt the people will welcome you.
Most of them will, Mr. Bracegirdle. Some will be sorry to see me, but I shall be glad of the encounter.
Colonel Moncton requires the company of infantry to secure or destroy the bridge at Mouziac. Major Edrington.
I believe my men are up to the task, Captain.
Monsieur, I protest. As Lord of Mouziac, the honor of defending the bridge should fall to my men.
With respect, Colonel, your men have not seen action for several years, whereas
Do you question the competence of our French troops, Major?
Colonel, I merely point out their lack of recent experience.
So you do question it? No, I will not allow it.
Gentlemen, surely we are all allies here. As long as our campaign is successful, we will all share the honors.
Monsieur Hornblower is right. To restore the king, that is our only concern.
As you wish, Colonel.
May I suggest, Colonel, that one of my officers act as liaison between yourself and Lord Edrington? You seem to have a grasp of the situation, Mr. Hornblower. Perhaps you'd like to volunteer?
Yes, sir.
Come on, pull it off.
Les tonneaux dans l'entrepôt! Moi, je reste ici.
We'll be taking 2 12-pounders and enough powder to destroy a bridge.
What size is the bridge, sir?
Well, I'd imagine it's a bit bigger than the river, Matthews. Sir? Never mind. Take 10 extra powder casks to be sure.
Aye, aye, sir.
Begging your pardon, Mr. Hornblower, sir, but why can't the French use their own cannon?
Styles. It might have escaped your notice, Styles, but General Charette's troops don't have any cannon.
Well, I don't mind letting them take ours, sir.
Yesterday, you were prepared to hang a man for taking a chicken, but today you're willing to give him our guns. Very generous. Decided the French are all right after all, have we, Styles?
No. Your men are reluctant to go ashore with us?
On the contrary, sir, they're all quite eager.
I'm happy to hear it. With the help of your men, I hope to see my home restored to something of its former glory.
They will do everything in their power, sir.
I think you are a stranger to my country, Mr. Hornblower. You cannot imagine what these Republicans are capable of. There is no place they would not defile, nothing they would not besmirch.
Let us hope your fears are unfounded.
You do not know these people. They are barbarians. But order will be restored, monsieur. You may depend on it.
Captain. Landing beach in sight, sir.
Very good, Mr. Bowles. All hands shorten sail.
Aye, aye, sir. All hands! Shorten sail!
Mr. Hornblower, the beach is in sight. Prepare to disembark, please.
Aye, aye, sir.
Mr. Hornblower.
Sir.
You will be on foreign soil. The enemy all around. Be on your guard, take care. And do not assume a situation is safe until you can convince yourself that it is so.
I will keep it in mind, sir.
Good. I trust you will not abandon your prudence of yesterday.
Oh, no, sir, I will not.
Carry on, Mr. Hornblower.
You are concerned for his safety, Captain.
I am concerned for the safety of all my men, General.
But the lieutenant in particular, huh?
He's one of my best officers. And despite his lack of years, I would regret his loss.
Then let me reassure you. I am confident that within a few days the whole of France will be behind us. And then your young lieutenant will be able to tell his grandchildren how he helped restore the flag of King Louis to its rightful place. To fly once more over the sacred soil of France.
Skirmish company, fall in! By the right! Number 2 company! Over here! Are you beautiful?
Archie, so, how does it feel to be back on this side of the channel again?
Better with a pistol and cannon to hand. We're gonna need some kind of transport to get the guns and powder to the bridge.
I'll see what Colonel Monckton has in mind.
Attention! Yo! C'est fou!
Worries more about that machine than anything else. This raid will be the only thing to reach Musac. Are your men ready to move, Mr. Hornblower?
Yes, my lord. Save for our cannon.
My God, if that's any of ours, I'll have them flogged.
Those are the French troops, I believe.
Would be. What do they think they're here for?
Gentlemen, you are ready to advance?
My men are ready, sir.
What? What do you think?
Colonel, I believe we still require transport for our cannon.
That is already taken care of. When you are ready, we will proceed. Muziak awaits, gentlemen.
This stuff bloody stinks. Least they could have done was clear out.
Stars, let's have less griping there. Just be glad you're not carrying those cannons all the way to the village.
Boats, crews! Return to your ships!
From acting lieutenant to commander of a dung cart in no more than a step. My career's looking up.
Mr. Hornblower, as you and I are the senior British officers, I think we should advance together. Come, sir, unless you prefer the dung cart. I see now why you chose the Navy.
All men and supplies ashore, sir. All boats returned.
Thank you, Mr. Bracegirdle. Signal all ships to make sail.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Bowles! Sir. Set course for Quiberon, please.
Aye, aye, sir.
We shall head west to land General Charette's main force.
course, Mr. Bowles.
West by north, sir. Be there by noon with this wind, sir. Would have been sent for us.
Perhaps. When we get to Quiberon, Mr. Bowles, I want you to heave to as close inshore as possible. Once unloading is complete, we shall remain there on station.
Remain, sir. I thought...
The Sophia, Dumbarton and Catherine will return home to England, but we stay.
Well, Mr. Hornblower, there is our objective.
Do you think you can hold it? We must. Either hold it or destroy it. General Charette is counting on us?
Well, in that case...
Major Edrington, you will find a ford half a league upstream beyond the village. You will station your men there in due course.
I only hope we're up to it, Colonel.
Mr. Kennedy, have the men set up the cannon to cover the southern approach. We'll see about setting the gunpowder when I return from the village.
Aye, aye, Mr. Hornblower. You heard, Matthews.
Aye, aye, sir.
Quiberon Bay, sir.
Very good, Mr. Bracegirdle. Take us inshore and heave to. Aye, aye, sir.
Now my people will welcome me home. En avant!
Captain. Signal from the Catherine. They're ready to begin disembarking the troops.
Very good, Mr. Bracegirdle. Make our own preparations.
Aye, sir.
General, I would deem it a favor if you would allow one of my officers to accompany you ashore to send back regular reports.
Reports?
Yes. Admiral Lord Hood has ordered that we remain here until your progress is assured.
But why?
I believe the Admiral wishes us to remain here as a place of retreat, in case you meet heavier resistance than anticipated.
Very well, Sir Edward. Thank you for your honesty. But I can assure you, these reports, they will carry only good news.
I pray so, sir. I pray so.
Je suis revenu.
Forêt? Pierre Forêt? Où faites-vous là?
Je suis le maire, monsieur.
Le maire? He says he is the mayor. You are the linen merchant. Your business is underwear.
Not any longer, monsieur. And by authority of...
Authority? You have no authority. I am the Marquis. Take off that ridiculous thing.
I regret, monsieur.
Rat! I want the people brought out here to welcome me home. Gentlemen, if you please. En avant! No!
You have no right to arrest them. They've done nothing.
No right? By what right have you destroyed my home?
Monsieur, this house has been commanded for the use of the people.
Silence!
Where are the rest of my paintings, my art collection?
Monsieur le Marquis.
Where?
They are no practical use. They were used as fuel for the fires.
Burned. Remove those flags.
No, monsieur. I regret.
Remove them.
Allons, enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé. Contre nous de la tyrannie, l'étendard sanglant élevé, l'étendard sanglant élevé. Entendez-vous dans les campagnes.
Aux armes, citoyens, formez vos bataillons.
Tais-toi, je t'en supplie, tais-toi.
Marchons, qu'instant nature abreuve nos sillons.
Give me your pistol.
Colonel.
Give me your pistol.
No, monsieur, please. He's a child. He doesn't understand.
Then I will make him understand.
No, please. Please.
Colonel, for God's sake. The town is yours. Why waste powder on a child? He can do us no harm. All is well.
Je suis le marquis. Il faut m'obéir. Vive le roi!
Vive le roi!
Mamselle, take these children away.
Thank you, monsieur. Thank you.
I take it the welcoming ceremony is now over.
Monsieur Bowles, the people there are happy to see us.
Aye, sir. I'd thought to meet more resistance than this.
The Republicans, they have no stomach to fight.
Bring up some charges.
That's right. Bit lower style. Whoop. Well, that's 3 barrels already placed, sir, and this will be the 4th. I reckon that'll be enough to bring this down when the time comes.
I think we'll put 2 more barrels over the side here, just to be sure.
Beg your pardon, sir, but if the enemies expect it from that side, and when we blow the bridge up, we're going to be that side, how do we get back to the beach?
We don't. Our orders are to hold this position at all costs.
Surrounded by frogs and nowhere to go.
Styles.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
There's more than bloody frogs down here, sir.
We'll carry on, then. Archie.
Yes?
I think I'll go and see how Major Eddington is faring at the ford. Will you take charge?
Yes, of course. Matthews is right, though, Horatio. If we have to blow up the bridge, we will be cut off.
I know.
Fine thing to die in someone else's war.
Sergeant set pickets at front and flank and across the river to act as lookouts.
Very well, my lord.
My lord, is everything well?
Well, look at this place, Mr. Hornblower.
Right, turn!
No artillery would dare to cross here, and if they tried, my mamma could beat them off with her parasol.
They may send infantry as well.
They may, but to be plain with you, Mr. Hornblower, my greatest fear is that the enemy will ignore this place altogether and concentrate on the bridge. If they should cross.
You do not trust my men,
I do not doubt your men, Mr. Hornblower. But I have no confidence that the frogs would stand firm and support you.
I see, but General Charette...
General Charette isn't here. Our commanding officer is Colonel Montcouton. And from his earlier exhibition, it is clear that whatever his rank, he is no soldier. Never underestimate the enemy, Mr. Hornblower, but never overestimate an ally. Particularly one who is caught up in his own affairs. Better go and report to him. See what he's up to.
I think this is a good place to make camp, Monsieur Bowles. The men, they can rest, and tomorrow we take Quiberon. On y va!
Damn this animal, what it needs is a rudder.
To show it who's master, Mr. Hornblower.
I don't need to, it knows. I've heard it said that the guillotine is as effective at subduing trouble as an army of 5,000 men.
I didn't think it would take 5,000 men to subdue these people. By the look of it, a handful could do it.
Vous avez vos ordres. Allez.
Qu'est-ce que vous voulez?
Monsieur, just the men I need. Gentlemen, I trust I will have the pleasure of your company at dinner tonight.
At dinner? We look forward to it, Colonel.
Excellent. Shall we say 8 o'clock?
Come, Mr. Hornblower. Our men will be expecting us. There's nothing we can do here.
Message from Mr. Bowles, sir.
Well?
General Shredder's made camp for the night.
Has he met any resistance?
No, sir. That's good, surely.
Yes, but why is it so easy? The Republicans could have put out lines of defense anywhere. Unless...
Unless what, sir?
Mr. Bracegirdle, have you wondered why it is we have been ordered to remain here?
I had assumed it was to provide a place of retreat for General Charette should circumstances have turned against him.
Aye, but only one ship, when it took 4 to bring him here.
So if General Charette is indeed forced to retreat...
It is not expected that he will return with more than a quarter of the men he set out with. The mathematics of defeat, Mr. Bracegirdle.
You see, gentlemen, a republic, a country run by peasants, is a contradiction of all the natural laws. Observe, if you will, how my house has suffered during my absence. The peasants could not look after it because they have no breeding and thus no intelligence. Entrust them with fine furniture, paintings, they see only firewood. They probably used my best brandy to ignite the blaze.
Forgive me, sir, but I have always held it true that any man may better himself, however humble his situation.
But to what purpose? Monsieur, I remember I once had a horse which, for amusement, I taught to count off the days of the week. Did this make him a scholar? Naturally, it remained a horse. And so, with the peasant.
But surely, Colonel, given a chance to learn.
No, Monsieur Hornblower, I think you are a revolutionary at heart yourself.
Indeed, I am not, sir.
I began to suspect it in the square this afternoon, actually.
I take offense at that, sir.
But I tease you, of course. But, Monsieur, my country is the farce you see today precisely because certain good souls like yourself believe they can teach the peasant to think. Major Edrington, like myself, you hold aristocratic title. Surely you will support me in this.
Colonel, you have obviously given the matter more thought than I. However, you may be sure that I thank God daily for the good fortune of my birth, for I am certain I would have made a miserable peasant.
Mariette, viens ici. Viens. Take this woman. She is a peasant. She works in my house as her mother did before her, but in the days of the Republic, they made her a teacher. Was this simple creature put on this earth to teach grammar? Huh? It's much better to leave her free to do what she does best, huh?
Je suis peut-être une paysanne, mais je ne suis pas un animal.
Oh, she says she is not an animal.
There is no need to translate her words, sir. I understood her French as she clearly understood your English.
Have a care, Mr. Hornblower.
So it is self-evident, sir. She cannot be as ignorant as you are so anxious to make her.
Once again, monsieur, I hear the rebel in you.
Then you mistake yourself again, sir, for I am no rebel. I hope I am a gentleman, and that I will always treat any woman with respect.
Enough. Allez! I will not argue with a common sailor in the British Navy.
Before you slight a common sailor, sir, may I remind you that the British Navy and its common sailors have conveyed your Grace's person thus far without incident or injury. Good night, gentlemen.
Now, where is our dessert?
Mademoiselle, I beg your pardon.
So, we are no more than the animals.
I assure you, mademoiselle, it is not a view I share, nor would wish to hear expressed.
You have been kind. Once again, you have tried to help me.
I did no more than my conscience dictated.
But now, I'm afraid there is nothing more you can do for me.
Mademoiselle, at least allow me to escort you home.
There is no need to trouble yourself.
I assure you it is no trouble. It would be a pleasure.
Very well. Thank you. Today, I think there is only one lord and master in France.
Mademoiselle?
That machine. For Montcouton or the Republicans, it is the same. Does he think he will make us love him this way?
I'm afraid I'm not privy to the Colonel's plans.
Then what are you doing here?
I'm here to do my duty.
And what is that? Your duty?
We will hold the bridge until we are told to leave.
Or until you are forced to leave. So, the children have an unexpected holiday.
I'm sure once the Colonel is more settled.
For 20 years, I live like a dumb farm animal. I have no desire to live like that again.
Nor will you. I will not let it happen. You have my word on it.
I accept your kindness, monsieur, but not your word. You do not know what you are talking about.
Mademoiselle, whilst I am here, you will come to no harm, I swear it.
And when you are gone?
You do not know me, mademoiselle. If you knew me, you would not be so quick to doubt me.
It is not you I doubt. It is this place.
I will protect you.
Pardon.
On your way. Back to the bridge, both of you.
I'm sorry, monsieur. Officers first, naturally. Après vous.
I do not think they'll be back. But at least allow me to protect you from them.
I would be glad if you did.
Begging your pardon, sir. Is everything all right, sir?
Yes, fine. Fine, thank you, Matthews.
The bridge. Stay here.
boat! They come starboard by a point!
Sir, we can't see anything, sir!
Do as I tell you! Forward, boys!
Hold there! Move up and run! What's going on, Mr. Hornblower?
I don't know, sir.
Oh! Fire! Reload!
Archie, where are they? What are you shooting
Hurry! Come on, men, hurry! Archie! Mr. Kennedy, report!
Sir, enemy musket fire across the river. They took us by surprise, came out of nowhere.
Keep your heads down there, don't give them a target! Ready, Styles? Ready! Ready! Hey! Gun ready! Hold your fire! Hold your fire!
Cease fire!
Any attempt on the bridge?
No, sir.
Very well. I suggest you reform your men.
Yes. Aye, aye, sir. Come on, men, stand to.
They made good time.
But where's their artillery? Why attack without it?
At first we thought it might be thunder, sir.
No, Mr. Bracegirdle. That is cannon. What in God's name is French artillery doing this far west? They should be miles over there to the south of Musiac. I fear the General's campaign is over before it has begun.
General, I've counted at least 30 artillery pieces ranged against us.
They made a trap for us, and we've walked straight into it.
Have we received word from Mr. Bowles?
No, sir. There have been no further reports.
Then send a squad of men ashore. They are to reach General Charette with all speed and report back on his situation.
Aye, aye, sir. If the cannon fire has stopped, I fear we must assume the worst.
If you would just... send the men ashore, Mr. Bracegirdle.
Aye, aye, sir.
À mon signal!
Archie, no sign of their artillery? Not yet. I think I'll go to see the Major at the fort.
Horatio, when they started shooting, I panicked. I knew I was doing it, but I couldn't stop myself. It was the suddenness of it, you see.
I think it was the same for all of us.
But an officer, even an acting lieutenant, has no business to panic.
Archie, you've nothing to fear from the enemy.
They mean to kill us, Horatio.
Aye, of course they do. But their powder's no threat to us. From this distance, they'd be hard-pressed to hit a barn door. If you can just stay calm and keep yourself out of their sights, they cannot possibly touch you. All right.
We are finished, Mr. Bowles.
Not yet, sir.
Save yourself if you can. This is not your country, Mr. Bowles. You should not have to die here.
Careful, Mr. Hornblower. We have a few wasps here who are anxious to sting.
So I see, my lord. Do you have any indication of the number?
Hard to tell. They alter their position constantly.
It is the same at the bridge.
I have little time for an enemy that daren't show its face. What can I hope to gain by such a display?
Perhaps you should inform Colonel Moncouton.
By all means, if you can distract him from his concerns at the village. Your own concerns there last night. I trust they were concluded satisfactorily.
Yes, thank you, my lord. I will talk to the colonel.
Mr. Hornblower, if you should speak to him, I think a little more diplomacy wouldn't go amiss.
Yes, my lord.
The shore party have returned, sir.
Well, Mr. Bracegirdle?
They failed to make contact with General Charrette's camp.
It is as we suspected, then.
All men are believed lost, sir.
I stand before you unaccused, Mr. Bracegirdle.
Accused, sir? By whom?
By my own self. I believe this campaign was a forlorn hope, and yet I held my tongue.
For what reason, sir?
I was ordered to remain silent.
Then the responsibility does not lie with you, sir. It is with those who gave the order.
In principle, perhaps, but what of conscience, Mr. Bracegirdle? And what of my order to remain here? Must I also follow that? For if I do, it is certain more lives will be lost. Now that the Republican forces have defeated Charette, surely they will turn next to Musiac. Do I disobey my order? Or do I stay here and wait for the dead to return?
The mathematics of defeat.
Indeed. A hateful equation. And I do not have the answer.
I got him. Up a bit. There you go. Bit more. Let it go. Stand back.
Gotcha! Gotcha, you frog!
Belay firing. Don't waste the powder.
Jean Fabier, you have been found guilty of sedition and treason and have been sentenced to death by order of the Lord of Musiac. Vive le roi!
No, 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 no. Oh,
Mr. Hornblower, should you not be at the bridge?
Colonel, the enemy continues to put out only sporadic fire, but there is still no sign of their artillery.
Afraid to show themselves well. I would expect no more. Thank you, Mr. Hornblower.
Sir, may I suggest that you accompany me back to the bridge? I have no doubt we would all benefit from your assessment of the enemy.
Thank you for your invitation, Mr. Hornblower, but as you can see, I am rather preoccupied at present.
strongly advise that you come to the bridge at once. The enemy, sir.
Name? What is this man's name?
Sir, I cannot understand why you persist with these executions when the enemy remains at large and unaccounted for.
Enough, Mr. Hornblower. As you can see, I have business here in the town. If you wish to scout for the enemy, I will not prevent you. But may I remind you, I am your commanding officer, and in my experience, it is proper to greet the absence of an enemy as good news. Good day, monsieur. Name?
Prepare to set sail, Mr. Bracegirdle, before we lose the wind.
For Musiac, sir. Aye, aye, sir. What of Mr. Bowles, sir?
We must assume him lost with the others.
All hands to make sail!
Encore celui-là.
Il irait bien, les royalistes, ils sont rusés, hein. Ah, t'as une autre? Mais qu'est-ce qu'ils brisent, là? C'est du tabac. Moi non plus, je trouve rien. Tiens, prends-lui ses bottes, la vie.
Encore une autre.
Quoi? Tu vas t'en trouver une autre? Ah, une montre pour la République.
Ouais, c'est ton nom.
Et regardez, il y en a un qui s'échappe là-bas. Et au fusil, au fusil!
She wanna fight then, eh? Is that what she wants?
Keep your head or you will lose it. Is that understood? Do you understand, old droid? Good man.
As idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean.
Sir?
We have no wind, Mr. Bracegirdle. We are becalmed.
Call away the boats, Mr. Bracegirdle. Call away the boats!
Sergeant Major, form a platoon of skirmishers to cross the river. It's time we smoked these wasps out of their nest.
Yes, my lord.
How far have we come, Mr. Bracegirdle?
Perhaps 3 miles, sir.
We'll get to Musiac if I have to row there myself.
Platoon, attention!
How many, Sergeant Major?
18, sir.
18? Is that all? Then where in God's name are the rest of them?
Vive le roi.
Mariette, it's me, Horatio.
On est complètement fou. Have you not seen what is happening in the square?
I needed to see you.
Just now, they killed the baker. He's guilty of no more than selling stale bread. Surely you can see how dangerous Mokoton is.
He's still my commanding officer.
As an officer, you obey him. But as a man, you know what he is, do you not?
Mariette, I have to ask you something. Before we came here, did you see any enemy soldiers passing through the village?
Which enemy soldiers did you have in mind? The Royalists or the Republicans?
Mariette, please.
No. You come here, knowing nothing about me or this place. And you dare to ask me to betray my own people.
Your silence could mean more bloodshed, not less.
If you mean those butchers, I am glad of it.
It was not them I was thinking of. If my men are not prepared...
You yourself could die. The Republicans came 3 days ago. Now, please go. You cannot win here. Take your men and leave now. While you still can. Horatio! I've lost too many people without saying goodbye.
I will come back and take you away from here, if that's what you want.
Now, go.
Bring forth the next man.
Va s'en occuper de la République.
Name? You have been found guilty of sedition and treason and have been sentenced to death by order of the Lord of Musiac. Vive le roi.
Allez, avance-toi. Bon républicain, c'est un républicain mort. Allez. Avance pour s'enchaîner. Empêchez de bouger, là.
I knew we should have went to the Indies.
Told you before. Yellow fever, typhoid. Much better off here, eh?
There. Have a look at this. Look out for the lobsters.
Hey, all right.
been made fools of, Mr. Hornblower. There's no army here, just a handful of frogs making idle sport.
I'm convinced the army is massed to the north, my lord. We're facing the wrong way.
Did you speak to the colonel of this?
Colonel. Village, it's just butchery.
I see. In that case, I suggest we look to ourselves for command.
I think we have no choice, my lord.
Come on, men! Pull! 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 Hey! Hey! Pull! Pull! Pull!
This expedition becomes more ill-fated by the moment, Mr. Hornblower.
Quickly now, bring those in!
Don't reckon they'll be back in a hurry.
Better off without them.
My lord, it seems the emigres have had enough.
They may lack discipline, Mr. Kennedy, but those men are no cowards. They are going to defend the village.
Will it hold, my lord?
It might, for a while. Mr. Hornblower is there now, organizing their defenses. But as the commanding officer here, I think there is little more we can do for these people.
You wish to retreat?
I do, though it gives me no pleasure to say it. We will take up a defensive position on the other side of the river, if your men would make ready to blow the bridge.
At once, my lord.
Good.
What of Mr. Hornblower, my lord?
We will give him as long as we can. Let us hope he does not abandon his customary caution.
Bring it in!
Quickly now!
Vive le roi!
What? The enemy is massing on the edge of town. Your men, they need you, sir.
Very well. Allons-y!
Pour l'amour de Dieu!
Allez, vas-y!
Bon.
Do we take the cannon, sir?
No, it would take too long. We spike them and then fall back.
Aye, aye, sir.
Mr. Kennedy, sir. What do we do if the frogs get to the bridge?
You heard the Major. We blow it up.
Right, sir. And then what?
Then, Styles, we withdraw to the beach and, we hope for the best.
The guns, sir. And we've blown the trunnions off for good measure.
Well done, Matthews.
Mr. Kennedy! Is the powder primed?
It is, sir.
Then lay the fuse, if you will.
Aye, aye, sir. Lay the fuse.
Colonel, we must withdraw. We need more men. Send for Major Edrington's troops. Colonel, our cause is lost. You must withdraw. I know you do not like me, Mr. Hornblower, but this is my country. Your fight may be over, but mine cannot be so quickly abandoned. I have left here once already. I will not leave again.
Pull together! We have a wind! Lay on yours! Recall the boats, Mr. Bracegirdle!
Aye, aye, sir! Pray God it's not too late.
All set, Matthews?
Aye, aye, sir.
I believe we are of the same mind, Mr. Kennedy.
Perhaps we might give it a few moments more, my lord.
I dare say Mr. Hornblower will surprise us yet.
Aye, sir. If he is alive.
Do you suppose for 1 minute I would leave this place without you?
Hurry!
Come with me.
Mais c'est de la folie.
I won't leave without you.
All right, go on.
Come on. Jump. Are you all right? Come on. Let me help you. 1, 2, 3.
We've not got much time left.
Let me do that, sir.
Horatio.
Present!
Hold your fire!
Give covering fire! Fire! Mr. Kennedy!
Horatio! It's no good, Horatio. She's gone. Come on.
That should hold them for a while, at least. Mr. Kennedy, we will retreat to the beach and make our stand from there.
Aye, my lord.
March the men off, Sir Major.
Shoulder, arms!
Mr. Kennedy.
Left! Turn! Quick!
Just
March!
look after him, will you?
Of course. Come, Horatio. You did all you could.
That's lovely, that is.
I'll take your pick. The devil or the deep blue sea.
Son, form the men up, colours to the rear.
Very well, sir.
Battalion will form line. 5 sections on the right. Right whale. March!
I believe our old friends are upon us.
Aye!
One more step and I'll see you in hell.
Not that frog. That frog is a good frog.
Bowlsy!
Mr. Bowles?
I thought to see you gentlemen in Paris by now.
Front rank, make ready.
No one fancies a swim then, eh? Present! Fire!
It's the Indy!
Alternate guns! Fire!
I think we are well done with this place, Mr. Hornblower.
Aye, my lord. Well done indeed.
Is your coat, Mr. Bowles? Welcome back, Mr. Hornblower. Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Hornblower, your report in my cabin, if you please.
Aye, sir. Sir, I must report the loss of 6 men and 2 cannon from the ship's company.
Not to mention our French allies.
Yes, sir.
If a captain loses his ship, Mr. Hornblower, he must face a court-martial, whatever the circumstances of his defeat.
Yes, sir.
And he must defend himself and his reputation. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Well, man? Well?
Sir, I have nothing to say. The cannons were lost. The men died. And the royalist cause...
A failure, then. Like the rest of this miserable expedition we've been engaged upon. Yes, Mr. Hornblower. I include myself.
What were we doing there, sir? We were not wanted. We brought nothing but destruction, death, and defeat. Forgive me, sir.
It's all right, Mr. Hornblower. It's all right. Oh, come on, man. Look at you. Look at your new uniform. What a sorry state. Hardly the image we've come to expect, is it?
No, sir.
When we put on this uniform, Mr. Hornblower, we entered into a life of adventure and adversity. But above all, a life of duty. A duty to our people, our king, our country, but also a duty to our men. We must always be a source of inspiration to them, Mr. Hornblower. And whatever may befall us, whatever,
We must never forget, we are officers in His Majesty's Navy.
Indeed, sir.
I'm glad to see you're safe, Mr. Hornblower.
And I to be back, sir.